Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. It's early here. Just got done taking my grandkids to the bus stop, but I thought I would make some bread today in my bread machine, and we're going to be making a cinnamon swirl bread. Now, you can put raisins in here. I don't care for raisins, but a cinnamon swirl raisin bread if you would like. It's just as simple as adding your raisins in, and I usually add them in when it's the add-in cycle. Anyway, we're going to get into making our cinnamon swirl bread. And I hope you like this video, and if you do, give me that thumbs up. Let's get into it. Okay, the first thing we're going to add to our pan is the milk, and it is 2/3 cup. I've had it sitting out just a little bit. Then we're going to be adding in 2 eggs. And you can see behind me, it's a little gloomy day. But there are some friends out there visiting on the pond, some duckies. Then we're going to be adding in our butter, and I have 3 tablespoons. I've chopped it up a little bit. Yeah, I woke up this morning to some thunder and some rain, and my eyes were still closed, and I thought, is someone turning on the light? And it was lightning. So I was like, wow. So that's a little hopeful that we're starting our turn into the spring season, right? Hopefully. And then we're going to put in some sugar, which is 1/4 cup. And if you, like I said, if you like raisins in yours, you can add raisins. You could make this a cinnamon blueberry swirl by adding in blueberries. You can use dried blueberries. You can use some dried cranberries. You can do anything with this bread. Just remember, just experiment with your bread machine. It's really fun just to see. Sometimes things don't turn out good, but you know, that's what experiments are for, right? To see how they go. So the next thing we're going to be adding is 1½ teaspoons of salt. Kind of sounds like a lot, but that's what the recipe calls for. There's our 1, and we have 1/2. And if you've never used a bread machine before, you can make your starter doughs in here. I'm actually today, I did want to tell you that, I'm going to do this on the dough cycle. And then I'm going to take it out and I'm going to bake it in a pan in the oven. I haven't done that with my breads for a while, so I'm going to bake it in the oven. There is a difference in your bread in the bread machine and then your bread in the oven. The crust is different. The bread baked in your oven is going to be a little bit of a thinner crust. The bread in the bread machine, it does make a little bit thicker crust around there. Still delicious either way, just depends on how you like it. And if you have time to, you know, do that in between thing. Sometimes I'm like, I don't have time to do that today. I'm just going to let my bread machine do it all for me because it's really easy. And like I said, you can do starter doughs in there for rolls, dinner rolls, cinnamon rolls, all kinds of things. You can bake cakes in there. You can make jams in there. Just all kinds of different delicious breads, French, white, brioche, Hawaiian, all kinds of different breads. And I do have a lot of bread recipes on my playlist. If you hit playlist, and then I have them all categorized, and I have things, make things in your bread machine. And then I have some for easy dinners. I have delicious desserts. Just, they're all categorized, so you'll see. Okay, so the next thing then we're going to be adding in is our cinnamon, which is 1/2 teaspoon. We're going to put some cinnamon right into the mix, so we can taste that it's cinnamon bread, right? And then on this recipe, like I said, I'm going to do the dough cycle. And when it's done, then I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to roll it out, and I'm going to put my filling in there. Now, instead of regular sugar, or brown sugar, some people use regular, some people use brown sugar, and then they put their cinnamon on that. I'm going to be using a different kind of sugar. So stay tuned for that. Okay, now we're going to be adding our bread flour. Now everybody's always telling me, or I get a lot of comments on my videos, you don't weigh your bread flour. You don't weigh your ingredients. You need to weigh your ingredients. So I got out my trusty scale today and I did weigh my bread flour. And the recipe calls for 3 cups, or I'm gonna make sure I get it right, 360 grams. So I put 3 cups in here and weighed it, and it was way over 360 grams. So I took out, it was a little over half a cup that I took out, and I just left the 360 grams in there. So let's see how that does. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. When it starts to mix up, I'm gonna see if it mixes up or if it's still wet. And if it's still wet, I'm gonna add some of that bread flour. And I have it sitting aside right here, so I know exactly how much was taken out of that 3 cups. But, like I've responded to some of my comments, I'm not a professional baker. I'm not a business. I didn't go to school for this. I'm not a pastry chef. I'm just an at-home baker, just trying to have some fun, share some ideas with you, maybe share a story or two. So, it's not all that serious. I want you to have a good recipe. I really do. I want you to get the recipe and I want it to work for you. But it's, you know, it's just bread. It's just baking. Whatever I'm making, like I said, if it doesn't work out, I'll show you it doesn't work out. I'm never going to hide anything from you. And if you've watched my videos enough, you'll see there's a couple things that didn't quite work out. So my strawberry bread for one, if you find that on there. Okay, so now we're going to add in our yeast. It's 2 1/4 teaspoons. There's 1, 2, and 1/4. Put a smidge more in there. That 1 teaspoon wasn't quite full. And now we're gonna pop it in our bread maker. Get that pulled over here. Oops, as far as she goes. Okay, and this one makes a 1 1/2 pound loaf. So like I said, I'm just doing the dough. So that's gonna be 1 1/2 hours. Like I said, we're gonna let that go in there. And then after, we will take it out, roll it, put our stuff in the side, roll it up. We're gonna put it in the pan. We're gonna let it rise again, then we'll bake it. Okay? So I'll take you along for all that process. So I'll see you back here. Okay, pop them back on here, just to let you know. Took that extra half a cup, a little over half a cup. Took it all. So I measured out 3 cups, put it on a scale. It weighed too much. I took it out to where it said 360 grams, set it aside, the extra. Just wet, wet, wet. Added this, perfect. So, sorry, but I'm just gonna continue to scoop my measuring cup and level it off and use it that way. That's just what I do. So, and it seems to always turn out good. And this experiment I just did this morning was, you needed that. So, all right, I'll see you back here. Just went off. I don't think it's too sticky. Might be a touch, but we're gonna take it out, get the paddle out. Yeah, it's a little sticky. Oh, but it smells so good. Let me grab a touch of flour. It wouldn't be my video if I didn't have to go get something, right? All right, we're gonna just place that on the counter. We're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes. And then we'll come back and roll it and shape it, okay? All right, it's rested about 10 minutes, so we're gonna roll this out now. We're gonna make it about a 10. I'm gonna try to start with it in a little bit of a shape. 10 by 14. It's wanting to pull back a little bit. It might not have rested enough. I'd say that's about 10. Okay. It's not quite a rectangle, but it will do, right? I think it's okay. Pretty close. Now, we're just gonna take a little water, and I'm just gonna spritz this with my fingers a little bit to make it a little bit moist, so my inside stuff will stick a little bit better before I roll it up. Okay. And what we're going to mix is not brown sugar, not white sugar, powdered sugar. So we're gonna just do about 1/3 of a cup. And I'm just gonna sprinkle it. I was gonna put it in the bowl, but I don't think we need to do that. And it's just a little bit tacky. So we're just gonna sprinkle it on. We're gonna try to leave about 1 inch around the edge for the seam. I think that looks about good. And we are gonna add some cinnamon. So we have our cinnamon swirl bread. And like I said, if this would have had, we would have wanted raisins, we would have put the raisins in already. And I'm not gonna measure, but it's about 2 teaspoons, I would say. I'm gonna pour 1 of my teaspoons in here and just see what it looks like, half of it covered. Didn't get it very even, but it's fine, it's fine. It's fine as wine. All right, there's our cinnamon. I want to taste cinnamon. Then we're going to roll it up. And we're going to try to pinch the seams here. To get it to stay, and then we're going to put it the seam side down in the pan, and we're going to put it in a warm place, which is over there by my stove, and we're going to cover it and let it rise about another 45 minutes. Okay, where's my pan? Lost my pan. We're going to squish her in there. She's just a touch long. That's okay. She's gonna puff up and be beautiful. Okay, now before we bake it, after it rises, right before we bake it, I'm gonna brush a milk wash on it. Okay, so let's get it over there. I'm just gonna use this towel, I think. We'll cover it, let it rise. Okay, she's risen, and it took about 55 minutes actually. So I'm going to brush this with the little milk wash and pop it in the oven. Okay, there it is. Our cinnamon swirl bread. And it's right out of the oven. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little butter on here. After I rub this on, I will cut the end of that off. just gonna put that butter on there. And she got a little brown, but I had to wait for it to temp out, so. But it smells wonderful. So we're gonna let that cool and I will be back to taste it for you. We're gonna cut it. Let's see what it looks like inside. I don't see much of the swirl yet. But boy, I can smell it. There comes some of the cinnamon swirl right there. Let's give it a taste. Okay, so here is my little pat of butter that I took off the end of when I was doing that. I won't put it on there yet. Let's taste it first. And you see I cut one more piece. See how that came off? Pretty. Let me give it a taste. That's yummy. That is delicious. Now, if I wouldn't have left it a little bit too long in the oven, I think the issue was my pan was a nonstick pan. It was darker coated, and the recipe said 375. I think I should have baked it for maybe 350. And that probably wouldn't have darkened that much. But that's so good. When you get a little swirl of that cinnamon inside there and that powdered sugar on the bottom, it's got a little bit of a goo to it. It's good. It's really good. The crust is just dark, but it's not real thick. It's a lot thinner crust, so if it's okay, it'll be all right. But I want to finish eating this right now and to have another one. So I'm going to end the video here so I can go enjoy some of my cinnamon swirl bread. So hope you try it and hope you like it. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Bye.